We're here today with Lorraine Ellis. Hi Lorraine.
Hello.
And today I'm going to ask you about your book. First of all, what's the title of it?
Pease Pudding Hot.
And there's a nursery rhyme, Pease Pudding Hot. Is that where it came from?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's, how does it go now? Pease Pudding Hot, Pease Pudding Cold, Pease Pudding in the pot,
9 days old.
Have you got any idea what that means?
Well, the book's about Joe, my main character, and he was affected by mental health problems. He heard voices in his head, and when he heard the voices, he said the rhyme Pease Pudding Hot in his mind to try and take it away.
It was a sort of mantra for him.
That's right, yeah.
That's a good way of getting a title, isn't it? And you wrote this book in 90...
Oh, I wrote it about 10 years ago, actually.
Oh, you did?
Well, I started writing it about 10 years ago, but over that period I tore it up many times because I lost confidence in myself and I became ill. And when I became ill, I just tore it up. And
yeah. Well, what made you start writing it in the first place? Did you have a burning urge to write?
I did, yeah. And I've always loved writing. I really love writing, and I'd like to get a message out.
That mental illness should not be a stigma that it is now. How long did it take you to write? It must have been quite a few years if you had to keep tearing up.
About 10 years. But, if I'd have just sat and wrote it and hadn't had any hold-ups, or I hadn't had any breakdowns and been ill during the time I was writing it, I would have had it done in about a year, I think.
Did you find it cathartic? Did it help you to get out some of your own feelings?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It was a great help to me.
Had you written anything before?
Only poetry and short stories, but I've never had those published.
So this was a completely new venture for you. How on earth did you go about getting it published?
Well, I was on the internet and I just typed in mental health publications and Chipmunk came up, Chipmunk Publishers, and they're publishers that their aim is to give people with mental health problems a voice.
Brilliant.
And also to take away the stigma of mental health problems. So
you wrote them, emailed them, or?
I emailed them, yeah.
And they got straight back to you?
Yes, they did, yeah.
Wonderful.
And I was quite pleased.
So you sent your manuscript off to them?
I sent it through the email, and it was an ebook it's an ebook at the moment, and it's been an ebook since last September, sorry. And it's going to be out in paperback in about a month or so's time.
Lovely.
Yes.
I have seen it on Amazon.co UK as an ebook. I hope they'll have the paperback as well. That would be great. How did you feel the first time you saw it?
I was thrilled to bits. I really was. I couldn't believe it, and it still really hasn't sunk in, Paula. You know, it's still.
It's still one of those things that you're on a high about.
Yeah.
And I understand you've started another one.
I have. I've started writing my life story. It stems from being 5 to 15, and that's more or less finished now. And I'm also writing the sequel to that.
To the Pease Pudding?
No,
to your autobiography.
My life story, yeah, which is from being 20 to today, really.
Oh, that's great, because I think we all scribble a bit about it and never really get settled down to it.
I've done a lot of scribbling as well. I've got a cupboard full of scribbles.
I know that feeling. Nothing ever happens to them, but they're there. So, do you have quite a good memory for events that happened years ago?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So you can recall things that happened, isn't it? How old were you when you started getting problems?
I was 15 when I had my first breakdown. And then I was diagnosed as having schizophrenia. And I recovered after 6 months. I was a lot better.
So, in a way, that proved you weren't schizophrenic.
No, it was a schizophrenic attack, sorry. Then, in 1987, I was well until then. When I had another breakdown, I was married with a family, and then I had another one, and the last one was 7 years ago.
It's very frightening when that happens.
It is, yeah.
Because you've got no idea what is happening to you, have you?
Well, this is it. You think you're the only one that's like that, and you know, when I got those voices in my head, I was terrified, and I wondered what on earth was going on, and that is why I've wrote my books, so that anyone else affected like that will
realise that they're not alone, which is a very important message to get across, isn't it?
It is.
How do you feel now that you've actually done it and got it there printed, something?
Well, I'm really pleased and excited about it. And
it's a new way of doing books on the internet now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
E-books.
These e-books they're the thing of the future, and you know, eventually they're going to be quite popular.
I don't think they're ever going to replace the cloth bound with the paper leaves, because after all, you can't take a computer to bed with you.
Well, no, you can't take it in the bath either, can
you? You can't.
I read anything really. You know, I like historic novels, and I also like contemporary books.
That's good. Before you wrote your book, and perhaps while you were ill, did you look at what other people have written about mental illness? Did you look for any self-help books or anything at all? It didn't occur to you to go for that. So you set your book as a sort of novel with Joe as your main character, rather than a self-help manual.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's right. The background story is fiction. It's totally.
But set in a period when you've lived through an era.
Yeah, it's set in the middle 60s, and it's over a time span of 10 years.
Yeah, so it's sort of when I was a teenager, really, and gives you, I should imagine, a lot of flavour of that time as well. It's great, and you had the advantage of going through everything and remembering it and getting it all out on words. Did you sit at a computer and do it?
Yes, I did, yeah.
You didn't sit there with a pad?
Well, I did a little bit of both, really. I did a few things.
Have you ever kept a diary?
No.
You haven't? So you didn't even have a diary to sort of look back on and remember events to use?
I did go to college and I did novel writing for a year.
Really?
Which was really helpful. It is, because writing can be a little bit isolated.
That's what she said. It's such a lonely thing that you do on your own. And so you sit there, you didn't actually have a timetable to sit there and do it. It was just as and when it came to you, you'd go and sit down and do it. What about your autobiography? Have you been doing that in a more structured way?
I have, yeah.
Saying, look, I've got this problem, so please give me a bit of slack.
Oh, thank
you. You didn't. You came out, you wrote it, and I'm sure you will help a lot of other people with the same problems.
Yeah, well, you know, other people can sort of be inspired and to do it, and to write about how they feel.
And to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's it. You can come out of this.
Yeah.
It's not going to last forever.
No.
And at the same time as learning that and learning that they're not alone, they can have a damn good read of your novel at the same time and enjoy it for the novel's sake as well.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Cross.
I just want to tell people that are affected by mental health problems not to give up hope, and you'll get better.
Did you have a lot of help from your GP?
It was quite good.
He was, because he's the first port of call, and then he can put you on to other services.
Yeah.
So, good. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's okay, I enjoyed it.